Hello. I'm here in the creepy light to tell you that if you like these videos or if they're helpful to you in any way, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And if you would like to check out our Patreon and support Falstaff books, you can find a link in the description. I'll be back after a little David Childers. Alexa, turn off the office lights.
Okay.
Hey there. Welcome back to 10 Things I Hate About Your Writing. I'm your host, John Hartness. I am a professional author, editor, podcaster, I guess now YouTube content provider. Fuck, that was loud. Shit. Jesus. Stop that. And scared guy by my own fucking set dressing. Also, I'm a publisher. So when I talk about things that will keep your book from getting published, I mean by me and other people like me. Today we're going to talk about crutch words and filter words. But before that, I've got some exciting shit for you guys. The thing that just scared the crap out of me, that is my 20th anniversary nearly complete Essential Star Child that just came today. This is from James A. Owen, who's one of my favorite writers and artists, and this is just a beautiful book. It's an incredible fantasy graphic novel series from the 80s and 90s. When was it? 80s? 90s? Hell, I don't remember. I can't remember. It's been a minute. It's been out for a while. But this is a gorgeous bound edition. You can see the art in this comic graphic novel. We called them comics back when I bought it the first time. It's just gorgeous. I've always loved this stuff. See, isn't it so pretty? But it's a super, super pretty book day here at the Hartness household, because in addition to my limited edition 20th anniversary Star Child collection, also from Grim Oak Press, my limited edition version of Magician by Raymond Feist. This is one of the books that made me want to start writing fantasy. It's a hero's journey story. It's a coming of age story. It's a huge political epic story. And this version is, it got a dragon, yo! This version is double signed by Don Mates and by Ray Feist. I haven't ever met Ray or Don, but I've done some panels with Janny Wirtz, Don's wife, and she's also an awesome artist and writer and did a series with Feist called the Daughter of the Empire series that was set in this same world. I love the Rift War saga. I haven't read it all. I've read almost all of it. The first few I've read and reread multiple times. I'm probably not going to read this version. I am going to look through it for all of the awesome illustrations, which are new to this edition, but I've got them on ebook, so now I really want to read them again after I read the epic fantasy thing that's currently on submission. So both of those showed up in my mailbox today. They did not show up in my mailbox. My mailbox is very small, but they did show up on my porch, and it wasn't raining today, which is good because my mail carrier never rings the doorbell when there are packages, and I'm here. I can just go out and get stuff. It's fine. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. They are pretty, though. Crutch words and filter words. These are two very different things, but they have the very same effect. They fuck up your book. Crutch words are things that you use too often, usually when they're your thinking words. For example, In the last Quincy Harker book that I just ran through one pass of edits on, I used the word so about 350 times in an 85,000 word book. Now, in my defense, that included torso and also. Torso and also didn't even count for 30 of those instances of so with a space behind it. I used so over 300 times. That bad. Bad. It's one of my personal thinking words. When I'm speaking, instead of saying because I hate saying I'll say, so what you're saying is, and then because I say that all the time, it's how sentences get structured in my head. When I'm writing urban fantasy or contemporary fantasy that exists in our normal world, my characters say that all the time too. And that's bad. Because you can say things in your normal day-to-day life and nobody really notices that you say so a lot. Or you say, I don't know, you say cheese a lot. It's actually okay. Say cheese as much as you want, especially if it's, yes, John, I will bring you cheese to the next convention that you're at. I really like provolone, pepper jack, and Colby jack. But I'm good with pretty much all cheeses. Swiss if it's good, not boring Swiss. Anyway, if you say these words a lot in your normal life, nobody may know because you're not talking to the same person all day, every day. You're talking to your spouse, you're talking to your dog, you're talking to the postman, you're talking to the girl who fixes your car, you're talking to the guy who gives you change at the bank, you're talking to all of these different people and they don't interact enough to know that you're overusing these words in your day-to-day life. If it's in a book, however, one reader will read all 85,000, well, I hope they'll read all 85,000 words in the novel. So if you use so, kinda, also, maybe, sorta, if you use these words too much, your reader will know it. And it begins to be repetitive. Duh, because you're using the same word over and over again. And it's boring. Also, it has the problem of frequently making your characters all sound alike. If everybody speaks like they're a character in a Joss Whedon TV episode, then everybody sounds like Buffy or Xander. And look, I like Joss Whedon as much as the next guy, but his characters do all kind of sound the same. You got to mix it up. You've got to make sure that your 400-year-old Eastern European vampire does not sound like your 30-year-old California werewolf. These people can't sound identical. And when you go in and you use too many of these crutch words, that's exactly what happens, is they sound the same. So, see, I just did it. Instead of taking a pause or instead of saying, I said, so when you're getting ready to send your manuscript off to your beta readers, to your editor, to your agent, to your publisher, to your critique group, whatever, take a minute and read through it and identify your crutch words. I have a whole list that are things that I need to watch out for. My friend Darren has a document that has his crutch words in it, and every time he's turning a book in to an editor, he goes through first and he does a Control F, and he finds all of the instances of that word, and he checks to see if they need to be there. Now, one of the other things to reduce and to limit in your writing, filter words. What do I mean when I say filter words? Well, I looked at the door where Fred walked in. Why don't just say Fred walked in the door? Of course I'm going to see it. I'm the POV character. You don't have to say he heard the car drive by outside. Well, if you just write a car passed on the street outside, you know somebody heard it or saw it. Fine, whatever, don't care. You don't have to put that filter in between your character and the thing they're observing or the thing that is happening. He felt the cold rain spatter across his forehead. Icy raindrops can just bounce off his face. It's okay. This doubling up of verbs in sentences is artificially complex, but really all it does is it creates a barrier from reader to character. Your character isn't experiencing these things, so your reader isn't experiencing these things. Get rid of the filters. Just make things happen. And don't start to leave the room unless something's going to interrupt you. He stood and started toward the door. Then he opened the door. Well, that's just fucking stupid. Why not he left? Bob left. Jesus wept. Shortest verse in the Bible gets the fucking point across, okay? Sorry, sniffle. So, remove the filters. Remove these, I don't know the term for words like started to, but don't do it. I'm sure there's a term for it. Melissa probably knows. If you've watched Book Babble, you'll see Melissa. She's way smarter than me on the whole grammar and knowing what things are called thing. I just, write books and sign checks. But since I am the one who signs the checks, I get to tell you, don't have your character think about standing up and then stand up. Just have him stand up. Just do it. Be like Nike. Don't see someone walk in the room, write that the person walked into the room. All right? It's a short one tonight because I can only say so much about annoying, repetitive filter words and crutch words without getting really goddamn repetitive myself. So I'm going to go right because I have stories due, because I always have stories due. Ooh, but I got something else today too in the mail. Alexa, make the office lights blue.
Okay.
Alexa, make the desk lamp white.
Okay.
That got a little dark, but I got my new light bulbs. Alexa, make the office lights white.
Okay.
That one's it's all way too dark when that one's blue. But as a burnout old lighting guy, being able to say, Alexa, make the window lamp green.
Okay.
And have that happen is super awesome. So I'm going to go play with my office lights. And you guys, be good to one another, okay? Alexa, turn off office lights.